That is one of the all-timers. The whole bloody end of that game. I mean, I just throw my hands up. What in the name of God was that we just witnessed?
I don't know, guys. I'll start. I mean, I'm sitting here before that last play, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna, I have all these notes in the game, and they're all negative notes. I'm like, well, we can just scrape those away because we just came away with a win somehow. And then the emotions now watching that just happen is unbelievable. But if you look at my notes, you look at the stats and all that kind of stuff, that should have been the score for the Commanders to beat the. I'm speechless right now to beat the Bears because they played so poorly, and I thought they just were going to sneak one out. And then that happens. I mean, this game of football, it's never over. Olin, you and I have played in a couple that we've won on Hail Marys as well, and my emotions are going nuts right now. I was so disappointed the whole game. I'm like, oh, we just won one. Nope, we just lost one. Oh my gosh, man! Holy cow!
I mean, it's you don't even know what to say because it was so bad for so long, like you're saying, Pat, and then they come back, and what a gutsy performance by Caleb with I don't know who was that in the game. The 6 offensive lineman was in the game, getting hit, come back, score that touchdown to take the lead, and then it's just whether it been the details throughout the whole game on offense, and then the details catch up to them on defense. The ball's going to get tipped. Somebody behind is going to be there to catch it. Somebody's got to be guarding the guy behind, right? So I'm sure Coach Flews will say that. What a frustrating way to lose the game. What a frustrating way to lose a game on a Hail Mary. Last second pass there, and you start to think about, okay, a couple Kyler Gordon's out, Brisker's out. Where are they supposed to be on that last play? What are the details on the last play of your Hail Mary? I'm sure they practice it. We all know you jump for the ball, it's going to tip either forward or back. And when it tips back, somebody's got to be there to defend the guy in the back. It looked like it was number 85, Brown, defend him from catching the ball. There's not much, that's a breakdown of the play without swearing on the radio. Don't really know what else to say. Without getting myself fired after watching that game and that last play. Not much else to say there about that loss. That loss has got to hurt. It's got to sting. It stings me because, like Pat said, I was excited to talk about a gritty performance, a comeback. I was excited to talk about Caleb doing the special, right? That's what Ryan Poe said about him, right? Yeah. Like lean on your teammates, and when the time comes, do the special. And it looked like he did the special to get his teammates down there to win the game. And at the end of the game, they throw this Hail Mary and catch it. And they lose a game they deserve to lose, but they came back to win it, and it just hurts for them to lose that game. Obviously, to break down that last Hail Mary, again, somebody's got to be back there to catch the guy to defend the guy who's on the tip. And you saw Byard turn around and look like who the hell was supposed to be back there.
Yeah. Hey guys, Mully, can we just do this? Can we do the post game as if the last play didn't happen? That'd make me a lot happier. I mean, I'm ticked. I can't believe it. And like you said, Olin, I wanted to talk about all the bad stuff that went on, and then, like you just said, the good things they were able to do as a team to bring it back and win, and just the Hail Mary like that when you just seems like that's not going to happen at all, and then it happens. And Olin, I just went right back to think about 2001 back-to-back wins against the Browns and the 49ers when, you're out of it, but you kind of have belief as a team, and you got a guy like Jaden Daniels, and he's building a resume with that throw right there.
I got to tell you, it's supposed to be a lot more difficult to complete a Hail Mary. It is literally a play named after a prayer. And it was like the guy was standing there by himself. I mean, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you don't. I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah, and also, guys, if the performance, another thing, Olin, to talk about the performance the defense had. That's another thing I couldn't wait to get on there and talk about because the Commanders have been eating up the NFL offensively, and they went there to held them to 12 points to that point, and then that happens, and that's in details what you're talking about, Olin. It's just very, very disheartening.
It's when the chances of them completing that, and do you rush 3 and do you try to put some pressure on him to make the ball get out of his hand quick? And I saw Eberflus talking to Jalen Johnson right there. I know he's on the score. I'd like to know what they were talking about, and he gave the signal for that Hail Mary defense. And I know no one is going to sell each other out there, and maybe somebody will fall on the sword, but you could just and I know, Pat, that someone's supposed to be guarding that guy behind on the tip.
Mm-hmm.
Who that was, we were worried about. Two defensive backs being out. Now the defense again. I mean, what a game by the defense, right? What a performance we text during the game.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, what a performance holding them out of the end zone, and then Swift comes alive, and Karan, oh my gosh, you're not a great game, but a couple good blocks, right? And Doug Kramer's got to get in there, and then a Doug Kramer fumble, and it's just this game had everything, but gosh, the first thing I thought, I don't know, you guys, I'm sure you guys thought that too, was the Bears fans deserve a win like this, where their quarterback comes alive in the fourth quarter and starts completing passes, and he threw that one on the goal line like underhand and zipped it into, I think it was Tyler Scott. Another amazing pass, and just, I kept thinking about when Ryan posed. I think the words he used were, "I want to lean on the talent around him, and when the time is right, that's when you do the special things." Right, and that's what I thought he did. I thought he did the special thing and won the game, and then that Hail Mary, it just really pisses you off, and I'm sure they're pissed off too. It's a hard thing to watch. It's a hard thing to watch, and it's a hard thing to watch a defense play that hard and give up that last play. It's hard to watch that offense come back and score, even though they're terrible most of the game, come back and score that touchdown and to lose a game like that. That is going to be a long flight home, guys.
Oh, and it just changes the story too. So now Jaden Daniels gets all the the press in the pub, and Olin, like you said, the fourth quarter was Caleb time, and it was great. And the one thing, the throw he had to DJ Moore when Bobby Wagner hit him in the chest. He stood there, took it, and delivered it. That's what a good fourth quarter. That's what a good NFL quarterback does. And man, that young man was struggling the entire time. I'm sure we'll talk about this post game of what was Shane Waldron kind of calling. Seems like he was just throwing plays out there with no real philosophy, tempo, or whatever you want to call it. But Caleb in the fourth quarter, it's just unfortunate now that it comes down to that Hail Mary throw by Jaden Daniels, and we're not talking about Caleb Williams driving him down and winning the game. Yeah, it just stinks.
Yeah, it was Caleb, right? It was Keenan Allen beating somebody. It was DJ Moore putting pressure on people. It was Darnell Wright coming down and moving the three technique and bouncing up to the linebacker, and Roshan Johnson hitting it behind him. We talked about it so much, right? Darnell Wright, Mercedes Lewis, run behind them when you need a yard for a touchdown. They did that. They did all of that stuff, and then it just the details of a Hail Mary defense got to them at the end of the game. And it's just, in that moment, it's just, man, it's just not, it's the last thing that you want to see. And now, because you lose the game, now we got to talk about just how bad the offense was for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell you.
A shovel pass to Kokomet to go up 3 points.
Yeah, that was great.
Yep.
Right?
But
it was amazing.
But, Guy, I really thought that the handoff to Kramer was like an act of insanity. I don't know why, in a game where you can't score, why you get cutesy cute. What the hell was that? And, frankly, on 3rd down and 5, to run the quarterback, are you trying to get him hurt? Like, what was that at the end of the game? And then you come back and you get the pass interference call, and you're just kind of blown away. Oh my God, they're really going to win this game. And then to have that happen at the end, it's just so deflating. I can't imagine what it must be like in that locker room. I mean, it must be so solemn. It must be like a funeral that was insane that happened in that fashion.
Yeah, just the ebbs and flows of emotion, right? You're up so much, you're down so much, you're up so much, and then you're down again. And then, Olin, that Kramer call just makes me think about what coaches do during the bye week. To me, that was a bye week call. They had a lot of extra time on their hands, and they're like, oh, let's put this one in. We can fool them with, the refrigerator Perry, fullback lineman run. And that, to me, is just when the coaches have too much time, in my opinion. Don't get so cute there. Do what you're good at. Like you said, run behind Darnell Wright and do it that way. But I don't know. That's a bye week call to me, and that was a bad call. But I was hoping we were going to have fun with that after a win, and now we've really got to break that down more. Yeah.
you know, it was also on Tony Romo, I thought, did a really nice job talking about the only play they could run before the Hail Mary, right? And just,
Yeah.
you know, I'd like to know why the Bears didn't defend that short out there to get him in range to throw the Hail Mary, right? So if Tony Romo in the booth knows what they're about to do, then we should probably know too, and have guys on the sideline about 10 yards down the field to get that little out route to McLaurin, and then this Hail Mary here, just you know, not you know, rushing. You know, I don't know if he was injured, but you know, I don't see Montez Sweat on the field. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah,
you know,
he had a
it sucks
leg
to pick apart
problem
that
at
play.
Didn't he have a leg issue or something?
He did. It sucks to pick apart that play and then ask what the hell happened, you know?
Yeah. And I look at these stats too, guys. When they were losing, I was like, well, this is what the game should be coming down to. But then, you know, then they're going to win the game. I'm like, oh, this is one that just doesn't fit, right? They were 2 for 12 on third downs, 0 for 1 on fourth down, only 111 yards passing. They did okay in time of possession, only 5 minutes below them. Had 8 penalties. They had some dumb penalties. And Olin, you mentioned in the pregame, some pre-snap penalties, offside penalties, playing in a loud place. That's probably going to happen a couple times. That's just part of home field advantage. And then they lose the turnover battle 1-0. So those are losing stats. And I was hoping to say those are losing stats for a lucky team that won today, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wow. I mean,
it's just depressing. Yeah, it's just
hard to believe with 2 seconds left that you could go from, you know, finally taking the lead in the fourth quarter, and the performance, as Olin said, that the general manager talked about. The idea that Caleb Williams hadn't been able to do anything all game, and then in the fourth quarter he leads them to a couple of touchdowns, and they're going to win this game. And the defense, I mean, goodness gracious, how do you keep that team kicking field goals all day? That was extraordinary. It really was, you know, and you kept thinking in the back of your head that, boy, they should have a lot more points, right? I mean, they're kicking field goals that are shorter than extra points. So that tells you that the Bears are really locking down in the red zone and really inside the 5-yard line, for God's sake. It's just insane.
And then they force a 3-and-out. They force a 3-and-out after the fumble, Olin. Like, I mean, that's just this defense played unbelievable. They picked up the team and said, all right, here's your chance to go win it. And then, unfortunately, they slip it up on that Hail Mary. But they just were doing everything right defensively, and that's what that cover 2 does. The bend and don't break. Unfortunately, there were no takeaways, but they had a hell of a game until that last play, man. That's just, man.
Yeah, Coach Eberflus puts on a show. I mean, he obviously got to take the blame for that last play, right? But he puts on a show in the red zone now, guys. His blitz timing and his coverage calls and what he does down there, guessing on blitzes and getting guys free, and you know, sending T.J. Edwards or Tremaine Edmonds or Blackwell. I mean, it's not even Kyler Gordon, right? And he's sending them, and he keeps shutting down an offense. Where I'm saying when they get there with the quarterback running the ball with inside the 20-yard line, how are they going to stop them? And they just keep doing it. They just kept doing it all game, man. And just you hate to have to talk about them after any game like that. I mean, this game hurts. No one wants to hear the silver lining, but this quarterback now, he's done the special that Ryan Post talks about at the end of a few halves and at the end of a few games. Now we got to get going throughout the game, and where you guys are talking about quarterback sweep and the dive to Doug Kramer, and those things are questionable calls. And I'm sure, you know, when you're calling plays there and they're saying, well, Coach Waldron, Karan is at left tackle and Kramer is at left guard because Murray, Tevin Jenkins, and Braxton Jones are out, right? Like that's how gutsy of a performance this was. That's how much you want to talk about and hand out their flowers for a win like this, right? That's how much you want to talk about it, because man, to win with 3 offensive linemen out and all the time you stop them in the red zone, but all that comes to a crashing halt when someone completes a Hail Mary.
Yep.
I guess they can't trade Nate Davis, huh?
Oh man. Nope, he'll be playing. He'll be playing. I hope Tevin's not serious. I mean, there was, the one when he went to grab his knee, normally when a guy goes to grab the front of your knee, I tore my ACL. That's what they always tell you, that's an ACL. Like, that's the first reaction you have. And he did that the first time he came back in. And then at the goal line, he got bent over backwards bad and didn't look good. So,
right.
Yeah, this is the position where Poles said, I'm glad I have depth. And they played pretty well, right? Like you just said, Olin, with that depth going in there and gutting it out to possibly get a win, to put themselves in a position to get a win. They did a nice job. But, again, unfortunately, the damn Hail Mary.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the Hail Mary hurt, right? And, you know, if you go through that game, you know, with the touchdown, fumble at the 1, I mean, there was 2 drives there where you're like, you know, you keep saying to yourself in a bye week, like, what just happened? Like, why did it take so long to get going, right? But Caleb was off, right? And we talked about him going home in the first half, and we talked about, and it looked like he had some nerves, like it was affecting him a little bit out there, and he wasn't completing passes. And someone texted me, what are the Commanders doing to him? And I said, nothing really special, right? Nothing really special except for the fact that I thought that, you know, maybe they want to go away from that up-tempo offense, because I thought Bobby Wagner, middle linebacker, was listening to the calls. And as you know, Pat, they get the defense gets the TV copy and listens to your calls, and they kind of know what your plays are after all. And I thought Wagner had a good idea of what they were calling at no huddle. And I mean, you know, it just seems so insane to talk about this game, right? It just seems so because you were so ready to hand out the fact that who cares what happened for 3 quarters, they won. But now that they lost, now you talk about, okay, why didn't we challenge the spot on that one play, right? Why didn't we challenge the catch? It was just, there were a few coaching decisions that you have to talk about.
Yep.
All right, 312-644-6767. That is the telephone number. We're going to take your phone calls. I mean, this is one of the all-timers. I got a text from John Heyman. He's a baseball writer. He's flying from L.A. to New York with the World Series, and he said people started yelling on the plane because they were like watching the game on their phones and stuff, and it just was like a giant like no one could get over what was going on. So it's not just people in Chicago, but we'll get to your calls next. You're listening to the postgame show, the Great Clips postgame show, presented by Sony Pictures, Wonderverse Chicago, here on The Score.